So, what you're about to witness is nothing short of a disgusting display of professional incompetence masquerading as governance. This isn't a cabinet meeting, it's a 3 hour ass kissing marathon featuring a bunch of unqualified losers who know damn well they can't do their jobs, so they resort to the only skill that they have shameless bootlicking. These pathetic yes men have abandoned any pretense of expertise or dignity in favor of competing to see who can grovel most effectively on national television. And here's the kicker, this is exactly what Trump wanted. He didn't hire competent officials who might challenge him with facts or expertise. He hired insecure sycophants who would stroke his ego while the country burns. Well, mission accomplished. And these cabinet meetings rarely get broadcast to the public until Trump took office, which raises an obvious question. What exactly did the administration think they were showcasing? Because what Americans witnessed was 3 hours of grown officials competing to see who could kiss ass most effectively on national television, a kind of Olympic event of professional brown nosing. This wasn't governance, it was a loyalty contest with all the dignity of a middle school talent show. Watching supposed professionals grovel with phrases like greatest president in history and honor of my life to serve you reveals an administration that mistakes sucking up for strength. Any competent official knows their work should speak for itself. The constant need for over the top praise suggests these appointees understand that they were hired for one thing loyalty, not expertise. Basically, participation trophies for adults who can't do their actual jobs. The waste of resources is staggering. While these officials spent hours in televised butt kissing, actual government work went undone. Departments and agencies sat leaderless as their heads performed for cameras instead of doing their jobs. It's like watching the ship's officers compete in a karaoke contest while the vessel drifts toward the rocks. Most disturbing is the complete abandonment of basic professional dignity. These are supposed accomplished individuals voluntarily humiliating themselves on national television. The kind of ass kissing that would make a medieval court blush. The performance was so cringeworthy, it practically demanded its own highlight reel. The Trump administration broadcast this meeting thinking it projected strength and unity. Instead, it revealed a system where officials function as yes men rather than public servants, more concerned with kissing up to their boss than actually serving the American people. And frankly, the evidence supports that assessment. Let's examine the most painful examples of this professional self humiliation, moments so embarrassingly suck uppy they deserve documentation for posterity. All right, so let's begin.
Team is nothing short of incredible. And there's only one thing I wish for, that Nobel Committee finally gets its act together and realizes that you are the single finest candidate since the this Nobel Award was ever talked about to receive that reward. Beyond your success is game-changing out in the world today. And I hope everybody one day wakes up and realizes that.
This man compared Trump to every Nobel Peace Prize winner in history and found them all lacking. The secondhand embarrassment is overwhelming. Moving on to the next sycophant.
I do believe we're in a revolution. 1776 was the first one, 1863 or so with Abraham Lincoln was the second. This is the third with Donald Trump leading the way. And we are saving America. And the idea that we are putting the worker, the very central component of the American dream at the center of it, is the reason that it is so.
He literally compared Trump to the American Revolution and Lincoln freeing the slaves. The audacity is breathtaking. And the American worker is not going to be in better shape. We have tariffs that he claims is a tax on other countries, which is clearly a tax on the importers in this country, which goes to us. So tell me how the American worker is actually going to be better off in this situation. Let's stay with Steve Witkoff here because he's really the ultimate ass kisser.
Steve, please.
Mr. President, working for this government, for you, is the greatest honor of my life. I tell it to everybody, and I really do feel that way, and I thank you, because it's a privilege to go out there and represent you in your humanitarian effort. in your
Like getting rid of USAID and people starving. Yeah, you're doing great, man. Killing it.
goals of solving conflicts all over the world. I think there were actually more than 7 conflicts that you've put to bed.
And we know that is patently untrue. Their own intelligence department, he's going to go on and say they obliterated the nuclear facilities in Iran, which clearly he hasn't. Tell us that isn't going to bite us. In Gaza, you got Netanyahu actively starving people, and we're dropping food out of freaking helicopters instead of just setting it up the way that it's supposed to work. It's ridiculous. Humanitarian? No, wrong. Imagine being so professionally empty that working for any politician becomes your life's greatest achievement. And of course, Trump doesn't miss the opportunity to tell everybody else that they're doing so great because, he's the one who hired them, so why wouldn't they be doing great?
Marco has been really, I think you're born for this job. I don't think you should ever run for another office.
I agree there, but why, Trump?
I don't think you should, really. You're so good at this. He is so good. And everybody likes him, everybody likes him. But everybody, much more importantly than like, I think you would say, is respect. They respect Marco.
The only reason he can say that with a little bit of accuracy is because Marco was doing 3 jobs and the only one in this cabinet that has any idea what he's doing. But of course, they're going to kneecap him, give him 3 jobs. I can't believe this guy is even willing to sit there and work with Trump at this point. Somebody who's actually achieved something is going to listen to a moron who doesn't have any idea what he's doing tell other people how great they're doing. So just the delusional nonsense is outrageous. And let's go over to the next statement about Labor Day, how the Republicans they own it somehow.
It is an honor to serve this country. It is an honor to serve under your administration as the Labor Secretary, and we will kick off, and Republicans will own Labor Day again, not Democrats. We will own it because we are, and you are the president of the American worker. So thank you for everything that you've done. Absolutely.
So why is Labor Day owned by either party? I'm pretty sure it's for our troops in memorial of all their service. That is Democrats, that is transgender people getting kicked out of the military for some reason at this point. They're already put 10 years in. That is not what this country is about. He is supposed to be bringing people together as our president. He's not my president because he doesn't want to be. This lady is trying to rebrand a federal holiday around Trump. They'll probably name it Trump Labor Day here. The delusion is clinical. And here we go from the Department of Labor.
If you all haven't stopped by the Department of Labor, Mr. President, I invite you to see your big, beautiful face on a banner in front of the Department of Labor, because you are really the transformational president of the American worker, along with the American flag and President Roosevelt, because we're bringing business and labor together. And I was so honored to unveil that yesterday, and everybody is taking note of that.
So everything's about him. Putting a big banner outside the Department of Labor with his face on it screams authoritarian takeover. He's going to name the Trump or the Kennedy Center the Trump Kennedy Center. He just wants to put his name on everything. This is a dictator. This is Saddam Hussein dictator level shit.
You also mentioned crime, and I think it's been important for my colleagues to recognize that now American workers can return to work and feel safe. That business owners aren't shutting down their businesses because they're afraid they can't protect their workers.
Here's where it gets really good.
And now it's open for business again, and it's starting right here in our nation's capital. Many things have been mentioned about.
Absolutely falsehood. With all of the troops out there on the streets, the DC economy is actually plummeting, especially in the service industry. Duh. Oh, let me go, to whatever restaurants they got and sit there and just look outside and see that you're occupied. Nobody wants to leave their house in that situation. So, of course, crime should be down if nobody's leaving their house. In comparing Trump to FDR while discussing a banner with his face on it, the narcissism is off the charts. So let's go over the lies that actually matter here. So we're going to have, where sycophancy meets misinformation. So beyond the embarrassing praise fest, This meeting was packed with verifiable falsehoods that reveal either stunning incompetence or deliberate deception.
We're respected all over the world like never before, probably.
Probably is the operative word. They are not respecting us. Read any international newspaper. They bash Trump incessantly. And when they don't, it's just because they're too scared, because they are good leaders, or at least some of them they can't all be great. But they are good enough leaders to where they don't want their economy messed up by this moron. So they're going to have to give him gold-plated crap from Apple CEOs to placate him.
Went to NATO, as you know, and they went from 2% to 5% of GDP. Nobody expected that, and the difference is they didn't pay the 2 and they paid the 5.
So patently false. The reality, NATO only agreed to reach 5% by 2035. So this guy is 10 years ahead of the timeline. Most allies are still struggling to hit the basic 2% target. Trump presented a future goal as a current achievement. That's classic misinformation. And nobody's saying they don't need to up their defense department or their defense spending. But why are we encouraging this? Like, we don't want to be in peace. Everybody should build a bigger military. So what are we planning for a huge world war? That is the logical conclusion there. So here's some economic claims about inflation, wages that are either misstated, have very little information to back them, or just outright false.
The wages for blue-collar workers are now rising at the fastest rate in 60 years, which is so important to all of us around this table. The average American worker has already seen a $500 wage increase.
Not verifiable. Not verifiable.
This year, and there's no inflation because there's been decreases, tremendous decreases with.
Okay, first off, that's not a thing. No inflation. There's either deflation or inflation that is normal in any economy. That's like saying, he already said it, 0 people crossed the border last month. That is complete nonsense. There's always inflation. Look at the numbers. Anybody can look at the numbers. Economic Times, Wall Street Journal, all economists. Lies, lie, lie.
Thanks to Doug and Chris, some of the people, the great job they've done with energy. Thank you very much. And Chris, thank you very much. I see you down close to $60 a barrel, and you'll be breaking that pretty soon.
So this is just factually stupid to say. I mean, I know that's all he talked about. If we reduce egg prices and gas, that's it for the economy. Everybody's good as long as those 2 things are down. That is nonsense. Also, this is untrue. It was actually December 2024. The price was about $3.03 to $3.04 a gallon. We are now currently at $3.21 a gallon. So why even say that? That's not even true either. Our gas prices are actually up since he took office.
And that has a huge impact. So we have groceries are down. Energy is way down. Energy is way down.
Is it? My electric bill was $350.
$4 and $5 for a gallon of gas. Think of that.
Absolutely not true. He keeps going back to this. That was $3.12. It never went higher than $3.50 in the 6 months prior to him taking office.
For gasoline, and now it's probably $2.25.
Nope. I went to the gas, got filled up yesterday. It was $3.
There's some places it's $2. It broke $2 at a couple of locations in the.
Okay, so no gas stations are selling sub $2 prices in the last 6 months. We know that for a fact. So he probably took the one time with a singular promotional event in a Michigan BP station that offered gas at $1.99 for Customer Appreciation Day in July. So one gas station did it once, so it's all over the country. This is classic Trump.
South. In places like California where they charge such high taxes, it's higher, but it's still much lower than what it was a year ago. So energy's way down, groceries are way down,
Nope.
Eggs are way down. Thank you.
The only thing that would be down are eggs, and that's because the bird flu ended.
Thank you very
Whoopie-doo.
much, Madam Secretary. You've done a great job. Appreciate it. When we came in, the eggs were through the roof. They were 4 times higher than they've ever been.
I'm still paying $3. I don't remember paying $12 for eggs. So just more lies. Let's move on. Guys, we could spend all day. I could just play clip after clip after clip, but I'm not going to. Like, this is an annoying ass meeting watching it. So, this wasn't just a bad meeting, it was a window into how this administration actually operates. The combination of slavish devotion and casual dishonesty creates a toxic environment where truth becomes secondary to pleasing this boss. When officials are more focused on praise than policy, when loyalty trumps expertise, and when basic facts become negotiable, you don't have a government. You have a reality TV show with nuclear weapons. And the most damning part, they thought this makes them look good. They voluntarily broadcast evidence of their own dysfunction, apparently believing that watching grown adults compete for their boss's approval is going to inspire confidence rather than revulsion. Democracy requires officials who can speak truth to power, not courtiers who compete to tell the prettiest lies. What we witnessed wasn't governance, it was the slow motion collapse of professional standards in real time, broadcast live for the world to see. And they're proud of it. This is Lies of the Orange Era. Like, subscribe, so we can keep exposing these falsehoods, this misinformation, and outright fabrications.